one of the protesters at Trump's rally wanted to talk a little bit about the Biden White House, and here's what they had to say.
America, you guys, this is America, and we can't have somebody in the office that doesn't even know really that he is there, possibly, but also that the oligarchs, in his office are writing all his material, and he's just, verbatim, just speaking it out, and I don't think he really understands what's happening.
Again, similar to what we were talking about before, there's sort of like a frustrating kind of tenuous connection to reality, but it's cloaked in absolute insanity. The idea that he has no idea that he's even in the White House. Look, if that makes you feel better because you've been triggered by your loss in 2020 or whatever, then that's fine. The fact that you got beat by a guy who has no idea what's going on seems even more embarrassing, but sure, go off. But the idea that oligarchs behind the scenes are largely determining what political leaders do is in some ways true. The issue is that she doesn't then connect that to, well, what about when the Republicans are in charge? Then they're just awesome individualists. You literally are protesting you're gathering outside the home of a multi-billionaire. He is an American oligarch and you want him back in power. How do you not make these connections?
Yeah, it's because they never got that information, John. They listen to right-wing media, and right-wing media is filled to the rim with absolute liars. So you could tell proofs in the pudding, right? We tell you Mitch McConnell has raised nearly $1 billion. Nancy Pelosi's raised nearly $1 billion. They are raising them from oligarchs. That is completely true. Both the corporate Democrats and the corporate Republicans are 100% corrupt. And by the way, you know who else raised tons of money from corporations and oligarchs? Donald J. Trump. So you know who doesn't? Bernie Sanders. So progressives actually do not take money from corporate PACs. Donald Trump does. Nearly every Republican does. There are some now populists like Matt Gaetz who don't, okay? See, we're honest, we're fair. And by the way, that video of that particular woman, it really wasn't that wrong. I mean, does Joe Biden have any power? No, not really. I don't think he can veto his own donors at all. I think his donors can veto him. So then is he really president? The donors have not. Look, I'll believe Joe Biden's president the minute he passes a bill that the donors don't want. It's never happened, it's never gonna happen, okay? And it's not about Joe Biden. That was also true of Trump. That was also true of Clinton and Obama. Oh my God, I said Obama. Oh no, every media person attacked me. I said Pelosi, every media person attacked me. It's partly this mainstream media that's driven the right wing crazy, because are the oligarchs in charge? Of course they are, right? And so the problem with the right wing media is that they pretend that the most corrupt people in the country, like Mitch McConnell, which actually, by the way, now they're pretending that less, to be fair, right? And Donald Trump, somehow when they take corporate PAC money, they're angels. You turn to cable news, they say when Pelosi takes corporate PAC money, she's an angel. They're both obviously lying.
Yeah, and the most frustrating part about it is this narrative that they build around like strategy, right? Like, and that's the most infuriating lie, because one of the ways that they trick people, like, because random voters who are centrists, they say like, oh, we really care about healthcare, we really want all these things. But you see, Nancy Pelosi is such a smart galaxy brain that she has to take that corporate PAC money, you see, because it's such a good strategy. And then they put out these things like the rental assistance program, where it was aggressively means tested and ended up being very slow. And with these compromise policies that have these weird random flaws that are built into them as sort of compromises, actually weaken the policy, make them less popular, and lead to even more people feeling alienated and left out by the system.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing. Actually, I want to give it to one of our members. Happily Vax wrote it. Well, if Trump is still president, he cannot run again in 2024. That's actually, of course, constitutionally true. But they treat the Constitution as a punchline, right? They don't even know what a Constitution is. If you ask them, is the US Constitution the same thing as the Bible? I bet you like half of Republicans say yes. If you ask them, is the Constitution in the Bible or the Bible in the Constitution? Like 85% of them will answer one or the other, not realizing, duh, it's obviously a trick question, right? They have no earthly idea. They haven't studied civics. They don't know anything about our country. All they want is power. And by the way, guys, let's note the deep irony of that. They're like, can you believe the oligarchs are in power? It should be us. Wait, shouldn't it be all of us? Shouldn't it be a democracy? Shouldn't we rule together? Isn't that the whole point of America? And right now, the right wing's answer is a resounding no. No, and again, to be fair, the establishment's answer is also no. It should only be the oligarchs who completely control policymaking right now. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.